Sorry about my hasty departure yesterday. Osric is a trained killer. So if you feel up to it, give him a hard time today. He's a great dude. But all right, without further ado, I won't waste time. So where should we start?
How's the shoulder?
It's still there. My wife told me I was 8 years old. So you are 8 years old. And my brother was like, so how big was this dude? I was like, he's about shoulder high. Well, what? Boys will be boys, right? Yeah, shoulder's good. Just be gentle with me in photos. Right, thank you guys. All right. Yes, hello.
Hey?
Yes.
Oh, my question is about the finale. I was wondering, what were Sam's intentions when he tried summoning Crowley? Did he want to sell his soul, or...?
Anything. Basically, I think what Sam wanted to do, really, was just kind of figure out some way. Like Sam said, actually, in the line, is, you got him into this mess. You got to figure out how to get him out. So I think Sam was in a situation also where he knew that even if Dean was brought back, he knew the mark on his arm was doing something to him, obviously. So he wanted to bring him back, and he wanted to kind of punish Crowley. I think Sam was in such a messed up state that he didn't really know what to expect. He just wanted to have answers, you know. So, yeah.
Okay, thanks.
Thank you. Hello.
Hi, Mark.
Is this loud?
Sorry for my English.
Sorry for mine.
Now I'm really nervous. How do you feel about sending a kind of early hotel room this season? I mean, Ziggy, Gabriel, Crowd. How many are you in here?
How do I feel about Sam being all those characters? Well, as an actor, it's really fun. You know, I mean, it's one of the few television shows where we can do something like that, and people aren't going, "What in the world is he doing?" And it was a fun way to explore a different character. You know, I mean, when you played the same character for 9 years, this was certainly a nice way to mix it up a little bit. I thought the writers did a great job, and I loved, a lot of people don't know this, but so in the season premiere, Tomo, obviously, is Gadriel, Ezekiel Gadriel. So a lot of people would ask me if I had to copy him. But actually, we shot the second episode before the first episode. So Tomo actually didn't have to cut. Tomo actually watched my performance to help sync it up. And obviously, each character is different. But he actually was like, wait a second, this character has already, quote unquote, been played. I better, while bringing my own characterization to it, I better kind of figure out what Jared did. So it was a lot of fun. I mean, this is one of those few shows where we get to kind of play and do whatever we want. So, yeah.
And there are something that I want to know.
Yeah.
You are my hero, and you was my hope this year, because in the last months I wanted to die, literally, and you really was my hope, and thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, because it's for you that I'm here, and it just, I was born on 19 July of 19.
It's the best day. That's the best day. I gotta say.
But only thank you for all you do for me and for many people who are
Thank you.
there.
Yeah. Thank you. And happy early birthday. Awesome. Thank you. Hello.
Hi again.
Hi again.
And so my question is, we have already seen so many versions of Sam, and they are all really different. And there was a scene when Crowley keeps Kevin captive, and he sends him the fake Sam and Dean. And it took really a few seconds to notice that Sam is really not Sam. And it's just a short scene. And the question is, how do you prepare if you have to play another version of your character? Where do you start? How do you make it so different?
Well, thank you. I think for me, and everybody's different, I feel like, I remember when I was in high school, my high school drama teacher, he had coached a lot of actors and actresses, and one of the actors that he worked with, or she's an actress actually, her name is Lynn Collins, she always would start her characterizations with the character's hand. Like she would literally think about their hand and how they would hold their hands. I was like, that's really cool. And then some people think about the way the facial expressions. Are they very animated or are they sort of somber? For me, I really just try and think about, I try to avoid the mirror. I try to not think about how I look or what I do. I really just try to think about if I was, like, if I had never been on Supernatural and I was auditioning to play this role. You know, like if I was auditioning for the role of Bartholomew.
Just like a new, wholly new
completely new, because it is new. You know, it's not. And every now and again, it's a version of Sam. You know, it's so you want to keep Sam, but he's soulless, or you want to hold on to what makes Sam Sam, but he is a Leviathan or something. But for the most part, I try to think about it as a whole new character, as if I was auditioning for a different TV show.
Mm-hmm. That's really interesting.
Yeah.
And if I may add something, your performance this season as Gadriel and Sam at the same moment, seeing how you change back and forth from one to another as the camera is still rolling was really amazing. And
awesome.
I was like, I watched the show for the 9 years and it still makes me this, wow, something like this. So,
thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Yeah. Hello?
Actors of your popularity and of your talent usually are seen as role models by people, whether they intend to be or not. So I've got a couple of questions. The first one is, who was your role model as a young man and young actor, the person or the persons that contributed to make the man that you are with your personality and integrity and the actor that you are? And since we look at you, what do you hope we see?
Well, thank you, first. I think, you know, I don't have any, my biggest role models were honestly, as cheesy as it is, my father and my big brother. In fact, my side note, my big brother right now, in real life, he's an orthopedic surgeon. So when I was wrestling around being stupid yesterday, and I hurt myself, I was like, I should call Jeff. That's my brother. So I called him and he was like, dude, like, you're 30 now, like, quit wrestling. But I didn't have any actors in my family. It was something, my sister's an architect and my brother's a doctor. My mom is a teacher, my dad is an accountant, I mean, they're retired. So acting was something that I wanted to do. I wanted to be an actor for no other reason than just I knew it from a young age. And so I think maybe the reason I've been able to remain happy in this business, and there's a funny thing where if you are always wanting to be the most famous or the most rich or the most quote-unquote successful, then you'll never be happy. Because there's always going to be somebody who's got more money, or better looking, or more talented, or more Oscars, or more famous, or whatever. And so I try to focus on just being happy where I am at all times. You know, I mean, every point in your life, even when it's tough, is something to kind of cherish and be happy about. And so that's what I try and keep in my head when I'm acting and when I'm, you know, I mean, this is an amazing experience. I mean, Jensen and I were talking to each other yesterday at dinner, and we looked around, and we have all these buddies, Richard and Rob and Ty and Sebastian and Osric and Jason May, I mean, everybody. We looked around and we were like, this is amazing. Like, this is I remember 10 years ago going into a room with Jensen and the 30 most powerful people at Warner Brothers who would become our bosses and going like, I hope we get the role. And now we're looking around, we're in Rome, we're talking to people about life and love and the show, and so I'm really grateful, and I think I just try to not lose sight of that.
Thank you.
I would totally clap with you, but it's not like this. Hi.
A few years ago, you made a movie called Christmas Cottage.
Yes.
And
It was many years ago. It was 7, 8 years ago. Yeah.
Wow. All right. Anyway, the point is, I was just wondering if you could tell us a little bit more about working with Peter O'Toole, if you got along, how was he on set?
He was amazing, and he's recently passed, obviously. He was an amazing actor from a different era, from a different generation. And I remember, so what do you work? Do you have an idol?
Do I have an idol?
Yeah.
I think you are one of my idols, and,
Thank you.
and Jensen and the cast,
Wow.
because you really amazing people.
That's a better answer than I expected. Well, thank you very much. But I guess what I was going to say is that if you and I were going to do a scene, you would have to treat me like just a normal person, you know, not think about different movies or different TV shows. And so that's what I had to do with Peter O'Toole. He was an idol of mine for a long, long time. And Lawrence of Arabia, My Favorite Year, and How to Steal a Million. I mean, I loved his films. I thought it was amazing. And Venus had just come out, his movie Venus. And so it's almost like if you're a tennis player and you're playing with Pete Sampras or Roger Federer or Rafael Nadal, and you're just thinking to yourself how much you admire this other person, then they're going to beat you really bad. And you're going to be like, oh God, well I just made an ass of myself. So you have to treat them as an equal, and they want that from you. And Peter wanted me to come to set and to have my own ideas and to push him and to pull him and to do. One of the things about acting with a fellow actor in a scene is that it's almost like a fight. It's almost like a dance or a fight where if we just sit here talking to each other like this, then it's not very interesting. But if I say this to you and then you say that and then we go here and then I make you laugh and then you make me cry, then it's interesting. And so you have to be willing to treat the other person as an equal. It's really weird because when you've admired somebody for so many years and then they call action and you're sitting next to them, like, but I just had to, he was so supportive and so kind. And one of these guys, like when he walks into a room, he is Lawrence of Arabia. I mean, everybody just, big blue eyes and just very majestic, very regal. The world lost a great actor and a great man, but I was very blessed to get to work with him.
Thank you.
Hi. First of all, I would like to say thank you for all your hard work on Supernatural and tell you that you were simply amazing this season in portraying both Sam and Katrina. So thank you. My question is, what do you think Sam's storyline will focus on in season 10? And how will the fact that Dean is a demon now affect him on a personal level?
Well, I don't know what to expect, but I'll tell you what I hope. I hope that in the season opener, that we see Sam finish his demon summoning for Crowley, and Crowley never shows up. So I hope Sam goes back upstairs and goes into Dean's room and finds that Dean's not there. So I think that Dean and Crowley should head off, and Sam shouldn't know about it for a while. And then I think it should be almost like Sam and Dean's search for John. I think Sam should be searching for Dean, figuring out what happened, what went wrong, and where his brother is. My favorite part of Sam is when he gets to be a good, loving brother. And so we saw Sam in the finale admit to Dean, like, listen, man, I love you. I was lying this whole time because my feelings were hurt. But you're my brother. So I hope Sam follows through with that kind of feeling and that impetus. And I hope a lot of Sam is trying to get his brother back. You know, I watched an episode last night, 2 nights ago rather. After I watched the finale, so I hadn't seen the finale until 2 nights ago, and I went to iTunes and I downloaded it. And then when I went to iTunes on my iPad, I realized that I had some other shows from some other seasons. And one of my favorite scenes that I really feel encapsulates Sam, even today, is from season 3 from an episode called Fresh Blood. And there's a scene where Dean is kind of acting tough and doing this and that, and Sam says, "Hey, just be my brother. Like, I don't need you to be... Just cuz. Yeah, just cuz." That's right, you've seen it before. But it's one of my favorite movies. And so you know what I'm talking about. So it's one of my favorite, as Jared and as Sam, it's one of my favorite moments for Sam Winchester in 195 episodes. And so I hope Sam gets a little bit back of that, where he just wants his brother back, you know? So that's what I hope.
Thank you.
Hi.
So my question is, if Sam hadn't stumbled upon the summing ritual at the season finale, do you think that he'd done something differently? Would he have contacted Cass instead? Or?
That's a great question. I think we'll see Sam contact Cass. I think that'll happen next season. I think Sam's initial reaction was kind of disbelief and sorrow and anger, and I think his head is just spinning. So I think his initial reaction was remembering that he had seen the summoning spell that Dean had summoned Crowley. And obviously he got away with the first blade and all that. So I think that was just Sam's, he's reaching for anything. So I think he would have contacted Cass, and I think he will contact Cass. And then obviously we'll learn about what's going on with Benetron and whatnot. But I think we'll see that in season 10.
Thank you.
Thank you. Hi.
Hello. First of all, we would like to thank you and Jensen for your outstanding performance in the season finale. It was really heartbreaking, impressive, and just like wow.
But mostly me, right?
Yeah.
You better say it.
So,
I'll stick Osric on you.
So I enjoyed very much when Sam had spoken Spanish in one of the episodes. And I'm always enjoying Sam being speaking Latin. So my question is, are you good at Latin languages, and is there any foreign language you especially like?
That's a great question. I would love to learn a foreign language. I feel like, so I took Latin in school. And what's funny is that, so in the States, we have your college entrance exam is called the SAT. And the big kind of reason to take Latin is that it teaches you a lot of words. Well, it teaches you the root of a lot of words. And so if you're taking this test, and you see a word you don't know, but you recognize a few letters, you can kind of figure out what the word means. So I took Latin just for the SAT and figured I would never use it ever again. I mean, I think I'm probably one of the few human beings who has taken Latin in school and then gone on to speak Latin later in life. Yeah, my Latin teacher must be just cracking up. I don't speak another language very well. I know a little bit of Italian, a little bit of Spanish, enough to basically, you know, I think like my sister and I went to Argentina in the Christmas of season 4, and she doesn't speak any Spanish, so I was the one speaking really terrible Spanish. But the funny thing is that, and here it happens too, is that I just know enough to answer basic questions, like to say where to go, to ask where the bathroom is. And so people will start then speaking to me in Italian, and like, or Spanish. And so I remember one time my sister and I got this taxi in Argentina. And I guess I told the guy in Spanish where we were going to go. And he broke into just a full-on speech. I have no idea what he said. I think he was drunk. And he just started talking and playing some music and then asking if we liked it. And I was like, But I would love to learn more languages. I think that's probably that's probably the thing in the world I'd like to learn the most. It's more languages, because I love traveling. I love the opportunity to see and meet new people. And like I said, we're in Rome now, and hopefully we'll, in the coming years, get to go see fans and friends in other countries as well. And so I'd love to be able to kind of speak English.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
My question is about the fake heaven in episode 22 that Sam and Cass found. I've heard that it was supposed to be different to how it actually appeared in the episode, that it was scripted differently. Is that true? And how was it supposed to be?
Has no one heard?
Yes.
Yes, you have heard. Okay. So it was supposed to be different. It was supposed to be... So Cass's fake heaven was supposed to... I don't even know how I'm playing into it. It was supposed to be a bunch of pictures of Dean. It really was. Because I think the writers thought it was funny. But we were like, it is funny, but we don't want to give the wrong idea that that's what's going on, and so they changed it back. And the idea was that Metatron was messing with Castiel. So we didn't want to make the episode seem like it was like we're hinting towards something, because that would have ruined the show to make it about something that it wasn't about. So they just changed it to like a really kitschy, goofy heaven.
Thank you.
Hi.
First of all, I want to tell you that I love you.
I love you back.
I love Sam, and I love Sam and Dean's relationship.
Cool.
So I was wondering what you like about Sam and Dean's relationship and what you don't like.
Well, first off, thank you. I love the idea that Sam and Dean help each other through thick and thin, and obviously there's more to it than that. But I guess what it boils down to is that they're there for each other. And I think the theme is to have something to share this life and these troubles through. Whether it's a TV show you enjoy, that's always there for you. Or whether it's an author of books who always writes books that you enjoy, but you can always fall back on. Whether it's art, or music, or food, I mean, like wine, whatever. You have something to share this life with, you know? It doesn't need to be a person. It just needs to be something to care about, something to commit to. So I think Sam and Dean have this unbreakable bond. That being said, my least favorite part is when they, I don't want to say when they fight, but when they fight. So I feel like, you know, but then also that's a big part of the show. And for people out there who are in relationships or who have family or friends, the people you love, often you get upset, you know, and it's the way it goes, because when somebody's in your life and you love them and they love you back, and whether it's a brother or a wife or a father or a friend, whatever, you can affect each other more. And so the idea, I hate it when Sam and Dean are at odds, but hopefully they usually make up. Yeah.
Thank you.
Thank you.
So my question is, do you want to play some role in the theatre, and if yes, which role would you choose?
Well, I'm sorry, say it again? I missed it for a second.
Do you want to play some role in the theatre, and if yes, which role would you choose?
Theater.
Oh, yes, of course. You know, I think at this point in my life, I'm not really interested in doing theater right now. I feel like one of my favorite things about TV and film is that you get a chance to really play and to really explore. And so, I mean, even a long play would be, what, 2 or 3 hours? So that's like 2 or 3 episodes of a TV show. So you only get to meet the characters so much. But here, like I've talked about, we have 195 hours of Sam Winchester. So we have a lot, and I really like being able to delve deeply into a character and see all aspects of that character. And if you do a play, then it's just, you know, an hour and a half, 2 hours, maybe 3 hours, and so that's not long enough for me. I like that. I like a little bit more. I like to delve a little bit deeper into a character. So for right now, probably not. Thank you.
Thank you.
Yeah. Yeah. Hello.
I want to say that I'm glad that you're feeling okay enough to be in.
Of course. Sorry I passed out yesterday.
I was wondering if the writers ever talked to you about Adam that is still trapped in the cage. Since 70 when it grew up, I was wondering if you think that maybe Sam ever talked about him.
Say it again, I'm sorry.
I'm sorry?
The second part? Is that?